I've never seen Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I've only seen the Raimi ones. I really like them. And, let's see what Doug thinks of them. I mean, I had never seen them, so I don't know.
Spider days. Sorry, there's more things that rhyme with days. Let's start rhyming them right now. Wait, I think we messed it up. Goddamn, we really hate this song.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. So you think the Raimi films got backlash? Wait until I reveal the tangled Mark web that we weave. With Spider-Man 3 disappointing many fans and even the filmmakers themselves becoming frustrated, Sony decided no more films were gonna come out of this universe. But there was a problem. Sony's rights to the Spider-Man character required a movie to be made every 5 years if they wanted to keep them, which meant the long time span usually provided between rebooted franchises like Batman and Superman was cut pretty damn tight from 2007 to 2012. Let's be honest, not giving enough time for people to put the old Spider-Man franchise behind them and crave a new one. Which is why I have the controversial thought. Okay, not hugely controversial. Okay, honestly not controversial. Pretty much, yeah. I think that... Hello, Mr. Internet.
You're gonna regret it.
I told you before, I'm not gonna lie.
You're gonna regret it.
Look, I'm hired to give my honest thoughts and a unique point of view, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Your funeral.
I think Amazing Spider-Man is a fascinating movie. You can't say that! With that said, I don't think it's the best Spider-Man movie. Into the Spider-Verse has blown them all out of the water. The MCU films might be slow burning to the big stuff, which I'm down to wait for. And rewatching the Raimi films, I do find a new appreciation for them, particularly with 2. But maybe that's why this one intrigues me. It had the most impossible task of winning people over with a new Spider-Man reboot after a goofy but still iconic series, and all the changes in the film reflect that. Instead of going cheerful and clean, it went angry and dirty. Rather than Golden Age comic dialogue, it went more modern-day comic dialogue. It brought back the writer of Ordinary People and allowed him to write a screenplay more like Ordinary People. The main character just happened to be a superhero. At the time, there were a lot of audiences that were happy to have a more grounded Spider-Man flick, especially with other comic book movies going that direction. But the hate boner erected quick, and soon die-hard fans declared if you liked anything in this, you were betraying the sanctity of the franchise. Now take on this. Clearly this was the one step too far. But I will admit, the same way I was asking people to see how I could find the originals too corny, shouldn't I also see how people could find this too safe? Yes, it's more real, but doesn't that suck out the uniqueness of Spider-Man going all in big like the comic did? I will always remember the iconic imagery from those films, and here I have Lizard Voldemort and webbed dicks. Whether you love it, hate it, or somewhere in between, I find it intriguing because it begs the question of what should a comic book movie lean more towards, a comic book or a movie? Well, let's look at the first of these Mark Webb films to get an idea. This is the worst thing to ever happen to Spider-Man! So I'm told, this is Amazing Spider-Man. We start with a flat...
Yeah, compared to what happened at Spider-Man 3, oh god. Even me as a kid, when I first saw that scene where he was dancing, and I was like, huh? What? Why would you put this in a superhero movie of all movies?
Flashback of Peter Parker as a little boy, whose parents take hide and seek very seriously. Next, we're going to play charades.
Blindfolded.
But it looks like somebody broke in, which means why don't you visit your Uncle Ben and Aunt May for the rest of your life?
It's my crust on his sandwiches. He likes to sleep with a little light on at night.
He also likes to wear Spider-Man pajamas. Wait, what? Cut to years later as Peter, played now by Andrew Garfield, discovers his parents died in a plane crash and is now a geek guy. Guess. So on the one hand, I don't just want the same Peter Parker again, and they do give us something different. Garfield is more of a brain in the same way Jobs or Zuckerberg is a brain. It's less chess club and more debate, less dorky and more awkward. Girls will talk to him, but they won't date him. If he did become Spider-Man, he'd probably run some company that would take over the world. Similar to how if Maguire didn't become Spider-Man, he'd probably push people around. One would be a physical bully and the other would be an industry bully. So already, I like that it keeps the same ideas but tweaks them enough to be different and new. So, why are you pretending he's high school George McFly then?
Good morning, Parker.
First off, he looks 29. That might be because he's 29. It would make more sense if they started this as an adult and he was already bitten by the spider. Second, what bully would pick on him? He's a good-looking skater with more hair gel than Everett from Oh Brother Where Art Thou if he was in a boy band. I mean, I get the idea he's not the bottom of the social food chain. That's reserved for... Even that kid doesn't seem that bad. Okay, the grandma sweater's a little weird, but we had this for 3 movies. He's supposed to just be odd, particularly with him looking out for kids being bullied where others don't.
Take a picture. Put him down! Eugene!
That's great, but it's inconsistent. He even takes out his contacts to put glasses on because his dad wore glasses, but let's be honest, it's done so we can identify him as the doofa dork from the previous films. He wore glasses. Parker! Uncle Ben, played well by Martin Sheen, has a similar problem. Even though he gives a really great performance, too many elements keep calling back to the original, even reworking the hammered-in catchphrase.
If you could do good things for other people, you had a moral obligation to do those things. That's what's at stake here. Not choice, responsibility.
From 6 words to 21 words. Abbreviate that next to what would Jesus do? But when the movie tries to be more its own thing, it is pretty engaging. Peter finds his father's old bag and looks up the scientist he used to work with on Bing, the search engine I use when I don't want someone to check my history because nobody would ever think of checking Bing, which leads into Oscorp.
Welcome to Oscorp. Born from the...
I don't get this hate of Bing, man. Like, I use Bing and it's not that bad. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, everybody needs to chill out on Bing, man. What is wrong with everybody? It's not that bad. Jesus Christ, man. Both of them and Google do the same thing. Like, oh, you look for something and oh, there it is. Oh, problem solved. Like, what's the, never mind.
The mind of our founder, Norman Osborn.
Appearing here as a dark overlord because we haven't figured out how to ruin him yet.
The Oscorp Tower houses 108 floors of innovation.
We're especially excited about our evil lizard man division. Honestly, we don't care what we do here as long as the color green is involved. He comes across a girl in his class named Gwen Stacy, played by Emma Stone, who works with Dr. Connors, played by Rhys Ifans. Crossing my fingers I said that right. Damn it!
I want to create a world without weakness.
Doing a bang-up job there. Gwen figures out quickly, though, that Peter is not supposed to be there.
Following me?
No, I'm not following you. No, I'm not. I had no idea you worked here.
Then why would you be here?
I just snuck in because I love science.
So the romance between these two always seems to hover in between adorably likable and Jesus, stop the hang-up first shit!
I was touching up stuff.
You're touching up stuff.
Come on. I'm not gonna answer that. Tell your mom, please.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, they were nice.
No, they're beautiful.
They were like kissing you. And you're an amazing kisser.
Well, you know, it was good for me too.
You always just make it, but you're like that close. Peter finds himself in a room of spiders and, spoilers, he bites one of them. Oh, that's right, it's the other way around. Sorry, I see this scene done so rarely. This results in him having a strange reaction to Bums using his head as a coaster. I feel like a lot of people would have a strange reaction to that. Beer!
Get your hand off her.
I'm trying.
Are you kidding? Are you freaking kidding me?
Who is this guy? He's upset someone's acting rude after he places a beer on someone's head, and somehow he riles everyone up to fight Peter. I wish the spider bit him. I want to see the crazy ass shit he would do. Despite that, I do love this fight because it's basically a comedy of errors. Every move is accidental but works in Peter's favor. I love how he holds up his arm knowing it's pointless, like the coyote waving before he falls, but it actually works with his new powers.
I'm so sorry.
I learned self-defense on Bing, so like anything on there, if I succeeded, it's completely by accident. This causes him to get home late, upsetting Uncle Ben and Aunt May, played effectively by Sally Field.
It's a fly, Peter.
Why does it feel weird to see Spider-Man acting like a Spider-Man. Bing! Bing will have my answers! Well, this will make other morning activities fun. Peter tries to get some answers from Dr. Connors and reveals that he's the son of his old partner, Richard Parker.
We were gonna change the lives of millions. The problem was always...
The K-rate algorithm?
Let me go out on a limb. Let me lend you a hand. I'd give my right arm if I could. Your arm is missing. Fuck, I'm so bad at this. Peter, through his father's research, figures out the algorithm to cross species with hopefully no side effects. The next day at school, banners are being painted on the basketball court while players practice. That seems like a sensible place to do it. Clearly, if anything goes wrong, it's the player's fault.
You did that on purpose, Flash!
I'm gonna continue this on the Buzzsaw and Shop class, where it's safe!
No, but I should have. You better watch your back.
That's right, teen girl half my size who looks like a threat. Flash is weird in this. Parker, of course, uses this opportunity.
Weird? Or just a dick?
To stick up for her, embarrassing the bully. That's it, you're going to detention! And the basketball team, practice starts at 7 a.m. sharp!
So all this is about getting even.
Ben balls Peter out for acting insensitive and showing off moments before he acts insensitive and shows him off.
He's got you on his computer. I'm his probation officer.
Total creeper! He put your head on squirrels' bodies, he has all sorts of issues! After talking with Gwen, he tries out some of his new abilities in what I suppose is supposed to be a training montage, but honestly it comes across more like a jeans commercial. Peter tries the algorithm out with Connors once again, causing him to be late to pick up Aunt May.
That's what's at stake here. Responsibility.
Where's my dad? He didn't think it was his responsibility to be here to tell me this himself.
I like that Peter and Ben's blow-up seems more built up over time, unlike the original where he just kind of snaps out of nowhere. Both their performances feel very justified and believable. Yeah, of course, it doesn't help that's followed by a Curb Your Enthusiasm bit.
You can leave a penny anytime. You have to spend $10 to take a penny.
I don't have 2 cents.
You can't afford your milk. Just step aside.
This is where he takes a baseball bat, starts smashing up all the items, and says, "Too much!" The guy behind Peter robs the place as Peter just watches.
Hey, kid, little help?
Not my policy.
I missed the part where that's not my policy. Oh, God, you see why you need to be your own thing? At least I'm sure they'll do something different with Uncle Ben. Yeah, okay. Tell Emilio.
Yeah, oh no, Uncle Ben's dead again. Jesus Christ.
I still know he exists.
Someone call an ambulance, Uncle Ben! Uncle Ben!
The police put a warrant out for the lead singer of Hanson, and Peter becomes completely obsessed with his dead father. I mean, completely obsessed with his dead uncle. He can have 2 dings.
Not today, Flash. Hey, come on, man. I just want to talk.
It's better, right?
I'm sorry.
I like that Flash sympathizes with him, again giving the people in this world a little bit more dimension. But did they need to use that reality show gasp sound effect?
Your own cookbook!
He stops criminals trying to find Uncle Ben's killer, realizing he's gonna need to hide his identity.
Oh my God, I was just attacked by El Cruzado!
You thought that camera angle would make him look less silly. He crafts his web slingers, practices swinging around, and eventually perfects his Spider-Man costume. Perfects is a kind word.
Hey, Aunt May.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, eggs? Organic, got it.
Yeah, let's use the real voice he would have with that mask on. Yet he still mumbles less than Maguire.
Sweet, no ad. Nice.
So here's the thing. While Garfield is not the young Peter Parker the comics portrayed, I would argue he's more the Spider-Man the comics portrayed. Spider-Man was a jokester, had good one-liners, and could be confident to the point of being almost a jerk. I feel like that's more what we got here, as he's legit pretty funny.
Use the window. Get out the window. There you go. We got it. I just did 80% of your job.
You mother Hubbard! You a cop?
Really?
I mean, what zingers did Maguire have?
Here's your change!
It's you who's out, Gobby. Out of your mind. One-liners was not their specialty.
It helps maintain the...
Except for him, that goes without saying.
Knock it off, man!
Spider prick, fucker will nail you in the dick.
Aunt May becomes concerned, though, with Peter returning home with bruises.
Who does this to you?
I want to take karate, Ma!
Secrets have a cost. They're not for free.
Remember, if you can do good things for good people, you have a more obligation to... Oh, Christ, how did it go again?
Cross-species genetics is finally working.
Dr. Connors is making progress with his experiments, but Oscorp tells him he has to move forward with human trials, as apparently Norman Osborn's life depends on it.
I've used the lizard's DNA to help Freddy regrow that limb. So miracle.
He's catching flies with his tongue, but aside from that, he's doing great. He's shut down, though, because he can't do human trials fast enough, so naturally, he experiments on himself. Meanwhile, Peter is invited to Gwen's house for dinner where he discovers his latest enemy, a police captain who wants Spider-Man arrested, played by Dennis Leary, is his girlfriend's father. We'll just steal that for homecoming. There we go.
Did you catch that spider guy yet?
He's an amateur, assaulting civilians.
I think most people would say that he was providing a public service.
Most people would be wrong.
It's not even accurate. Batman blows it. He probably saved thousands in property damage alone. I like Peter has to really face off with the pros and cons of being a vigilante, as he ruins a case for the cops following a car thief to bigger criminals. But he turned him in too quickly, not knowing. I also like it only takes one movie to reveal to his girlfriend who he really is. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty hot reveal. Do me. Of course, Connor's experiment goes awry, and he starts transforming into the Lizard, a monster who throws cars off a bridge and are webbed off screen. Forgot to schedule a talk with your editor there?
Somebody help! Help me, my kid is trapped!
And that lizard should really have a snout! I mean, I know it's a nitpick, but look at him! He looks weird!
Just a normal guy.
With that said, if you tell anyone who I am, I'll kill you. Normal guy, but I will kill you.
Jack.
I enjoy that around this point, his quest becomes less about revenge, looking for Uncle Ben's killer, and more about helping others. Which, as far as I know, transitioning from revenge to crime fighting is not part of the Spider-Man origin, but I kinda like it. It adds an extra layer. But things heat up when Parker goes to Connors and discovers his toy lightsaber is transforming him into the Lizard. And even that healed up rat is having a few issues. Nobody believes Parker that the Lizard is real, so he tries getting a picture for proof, locating him in the sewers.
Did you know that you can save 15% or more on car insurance?
Well, that's ironic. Down came the rain and washed me out. Peter gets away, but in easily the dumbest scene in the movie, he leaves his name on the camera. Major genius my ass. That's like Clark Kent taking his Superman outfit to be dry cleaned. After a funny and even touching moment where Gwen helps mend Peter, Connors goes more and more crazy, tracking Peter down to his school. Sir, you need a hall pass. The fight scene is fun and leads to one of my favorite Stan Lee cameos, as well as something I bet you never thought you'd see in a Spider-Man film up to this point. A girl do something. Oh, come on. Clearly you should be falling off a building or hanging onto something. That's both. Okay, I'm impressed. The Lizard gets away and we see something else I bet you never thought you'd see in a Spider-Man movie back then. The police kicking ass. Well, how about that, man?
Yeah, because it's like, throughout the first three freaking Tobey Spider-Man movies, it's like, man, where are the cops at? Like, you got freaking Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Sandman, Venom attacking the city, and the cops are just like, not our job, leave it up to Spider-Man. Like, what the...
We may get a policeman comic coming soon. No, shit, we still suck. He releases a gas, turning the cops into lizards as he believes that'll create a stronger race. Gwen starts working on an antidote while the cops knock out Spider-Man in their search for the Lizard. Taking off my mask? Oh shit, they are. Okay, you die, all of you die.
Parker, it's headed to Oscorp, and your daughter's there right now.
He convinces the police captain to let him go in yet another attempt to recreate the first one. A bunch of New Yorkers band together, at least the crane operators, which there are a lot of, conveniently all on this long stretch, who help Spider-Man swing towards the lizard.
Yeah! You mess with Spidey! You mess with New York!
We don't have to say that this time.
Oh, thank God!
Oh no, looks like Gwen's gonna be the damsel in distress.
Clearly everything was better in the other films. That's just good writing.
Granted, he did still get the device he needed to turn everyone to lizard people, but she tells her dad what's going on.
I don't understand!
I do. Your boyfriend is a man of many masks. I get it.
We're both written as competent in this. It'll take a little getting used to, but I think it's a good thing. As you'd imagine, fighting the lizard is a difficult task, even for the web slinger.
Poor Peter Parker.
Picked a peck of pickled peppers.
I know, but it's so funny!
Not alone.
Thank God I arrived with no backup.
How is he gonna say P? Like, he has no lips. Like, Peter Parker. That's how it would come out. Like, what the freak?
I mean, maybe he radioed them in and they're on their way, but time was of the essence, so he had to head up there early. I just won't believe in smart cops in movies! The captain is hurt, but Parker turns Connor's back and they stop the lizard bomb from going off.
What's wrong about you, Peter? The city needs you. You're gonna make enemies.
Maguire fanboys, mostly. That guy that's been memed a million times? Don't try to understand it. Just promise I won't be a meme in the next movie. I just guaranteed it'll happen, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Fucking internet. The captain dies, and Peter keeps his distance from Gwen, trying to honor his wishes. Oh, Christ, we have to go through yet another forced breakup we know isn't gonna last, and the characters are too stupid to figure it out.
You made you promise, didn't he? Stay away from me.
Okay, this is a comedy show. I have to hold on to some stupid characters here. I guess it does end on kind of a confusing note, as Gwen and Peter's relationship isn't the only thing pointlessly open-ended. We have the mystery of Peter's parents and the mystery of Uncle Ben's killer, which isn't a mystery. It's this guy. What was even going to be discovered with that?
Oh my God, he's a singer for Nickelback. Now I hate him even more.
Whatever life has in store for me, I will never forget these words. If you can do good things for other people, you have a moral obligation to do those things. That's what's at stake here, not choice responsibility. Just rolls right off the tongue. And that was The Amazing Spider-Man. Is it good? In my opinion, clearly yes. But the previous films are more unique, iconic, and I can see why people would like them more. I get the feeling this film was chopped up a lot in editing, as when you watch the teaser, there's tons of breathtaking shots that make you feel like you're free-falling. And then,
yeah, that is like the only thing I remember about this movie was the trailer that all of a sudden aired. I think, what movie was it? I think it was when I went to go see Avatar. Like, that's the only thing I remembered about this movie was the teaser, and I was like, whoa, it looks so cool. Like, what? Especially that last shot where he jumps on a reflective building and you see his reflection. I was like, whoa, that's so cool.
in the film we get bits of that, but not for very long. The reason I bring that up is had the film utilized more of those long shots and some of the more colorful sequences, I think we could have had one of the great Spider-Man flicks. It would have helped give it more of an identity. As is, its strength is in its performances and its dialogue, as I really like these characters and want to see them in more good movies. I think Garfield is a great Spider-Man, and while not an authentic young Peter Parker, he is still an interesting young Peter Parker. Remember, he does evolve in the comics from a dweeby teen boy to a strong, confident man. And I just get that latter half much more from Garfield than I do Maguire. If somehow we could have Maguire as young Peter Parker and Garfield as older Peter Parker, I think we'd have a perfect combo there. For a while, this was the Spider-Man movie that was more my speed. I dug the realistic conversations over the Adam West style dialogue, but I do see now this is a bit more run-of-the-mill. I will never forget what happens in the Raimi films where with Webb, I remember more of the feelings in the moment, but not a ton else. I don't think the strengths of the film should be pushed aside, though. The acting is good, the dialogue feels real, the web-slinging scenes, when they hold on them long enough, really make you feel like you're swinging through the air. After all the other superhero films and even Spider-Man films that came out after this, I can definitely see why some couldn't get on board with this flick. But it's still worth acknowledging what worked in it, especially knowing the time frame and limitations they had to work with. Is it amazing? I guess not. But in my opinion, it's still a decent Spider-Man. And that's the end of March, so that's the end of Spider-Month. Thank you all so much for watching.
Thank you for getting another one, Doug.
Guess I could go one day more, but it had to be like something really special. I mean, something really big. It had to be the absolute worst Spider-Man movie ever made.
You can't afford your milk. Just step aside.
Hey, Doug Walker.
Yeah. Like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, like I said, I've never seen this movie. It does look interesting, though. Like, I might have to watch it later on. Maybe. I don't know. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.